There's many budget and high-end earphones nowadays opting for bigger shells, bigger builds, but a small bullet-style form factor is truly a rarer thing to behold. So when I heard that Rose Technics was making a new micro driver IEM, I was immediately intrigued, and I asked for a look at their latest Photon Pro. Just look at how small this IEM is. But does it have the sound quality to back up this compact size? Well, let's zoom into this photon particle and see what's up. So it's not just the IEMs that are small, it's the box itself, especially compared to the standard package on something like the Triple Win Vivace here. In the front of the box, you've got a picture of the Photon Pro, and you can see that I've got mine in striking red. That means it goes 3 times faster. The small box doesn't mean you don't get good stuff though, because inside here you've got 3 compartments. The top one gives you a thoughtfully included and rarely seen shirt clip, fittingly suited for a smaller IEM. The middle box here has your cable and the Photon Pros themselves. The bottom segment containing 5 sizes of black colored purple cord wide bore ear tips. And beneath all of that, you're gonna be getting the user manual. Would I have liked to see some kind of carrying case or carrying pouch? Absolutely. But the included shirt clip is quite a handy thing to have. And it shows that Rose Technics cares about how you use their products and tailored the inclusions. And it didn't just throw in the accessories willy-nilly, you know? The cable here is also quite good quality. It's partly fabric lined, but it's not as wrinkly and all scrunched up like other fabric cables I've seen. And you've got yourself a pretty comprehensive 3-button mic clump with volume controls as well. This is a test of the included microphone on the cable of the Rose Technics Photon Pro. I'm happy to say that the Photon Pro's cable is using 2-pin connectors, and there's also a chin slider for your convenience, as well as ear hooks for an over-the-ear fit. Going to the Photon Pros themselves, it is quite a sleek little IEM. I am a stickler for these minimal industrialist looks, and the red injects just a touch of personality to this earphone. But you can also get them in green, blue, or gunmetal gray. Hey, get 2 pairs and mix and match the colors maybe. Although it is quite small, there are left-right indicators printed on these faceplates, and they even print the negative and positive 2-pin orientations just to avoid phase issues. Really nice attention to detail from Rose Technics here. It's just a little bit thicker than the Final E3000, and a touch shorter than the Moondrop Quarks 2. So it's safe to say the Photon Pro has earned its micro driver classification. Now of course, you can use it wrapped over your ears with the stock cable, but you can also hang them down just like a normal bullet style earphone with the right cable, and I actually quite like it like this. As for power requirements, the Photon Pro doesn't really need much to get going, with even a basic dongle being able to drive it just fine. As for ear tips, the stock wide bores, it lessens the bass impact and smooths the treble response a bit. For my liking, I liked the fit and comfort of the Final Type E ear tips more. Always a good pair of ear tips to match with microdriver IEMs. The Photon Pro goes for a fun V-shaped tuning that looks quite wild on the graphs, but it culminates with a quite balanced and energetic sound in real listening, starting with that bass. With the microdrivers, what I'm most concerned about is often going to be the bass performance. As the little dynamic drivers, it just cannot push that low-end energy as much as the bigger counterparts. Not with the Photon Pro, which still manages a very smooth bass response. It's probably the most refined bass I've heard out of a microdriver. The sub-bass energy can still be heard with the reverberating bass notes in Tech 9's Face Off, and the mid-bass is tastefully boosted without bleeding hard into the mid-range. The bass texture is soft, and its slam factor is a little bit more rounded off, but it has that enveloping presence you usually expect of a standard dynamic driver. Only that Rose Technics is able to achieve this with an humble 8mm DD. I have a love-hate relationship with how the Photon Pro does its mid-range. The lower mids are, nicely warmed up, given an emotive and kind of easygoing sound. It's the upper mid region that will divide opinions. It's mostly characterized by the two boosts at 2.5 and 6 kHz. In DJ Shadow's Nobody Speak, these two peaks fulfill their purpose of injecting more definition into the sound. The 2.5 kHz giving the male vocals more grunge, and the 6 kHz imparting a nice twanginess to the flicked guitar strings at the start of the song. The Photon Pro captures the energy of Everybody Loves the Sunshine nicely too, giving singers a kind of standout position and nicely warming up the accompanying melodies. In more modern songs like this Me, Myself and I remix, the electronic synths, it sounds a little dry, and the claps, they're a bit too splatty for my taste. Stick with lighter songs or tracks that are trying to emulate older styles, and Photon Pro will be sure to please. Treble on the Photon Pro is a more tertiary item. It's rolled off and completes the sound signature of the IM. You'll see a similar roll-off with other small driver IMs like the Celeste Rue. It looks a bit drastic and, well, you are losing some airiness, but the 9 kHz boost before the drop, it helps keep a semblance of sharpness, and you won't notice the lack of air in most songs. Soundstage on the Photon Pro is fairly intimate, given its encouragement for deeper insertion from that bullet design, with a fairly basic portrayal of height elements. What the Photon Pro lacks in stage depth, it makes up for it with very good separation compared to like other small designs. Macro details are kept distinct from each other, much better than comparably priced micro driver sets, rarely choking save for like the busiest of songs. Micro details were more situational. At times, the Photon Pro competes favorably, but in some more bass-heavy mixes, the low end can mask some of the finer nuances. Rose Technics have always been overperformers when it comes to separation performance, and the Photon Pro continues to exhibit this strength. Let's see what happens when the quark particle and the photon particle collides. As for build, the Photon Pro knocks it out of the park with the metal shells, the striking red color, and it includes the better cable as well. The Quarks too, it has a lot more plastic and rougher finishing, such as the uneven holes that are poked in the back and the plastic nubs. Also, the DSP chip on the Quarks 2, it cannot interface with Moondrop Link like its higher tier models. With the Quarks 2, it's a more neutral leaning IEM, whilst the Photon Pro has a more fun kind of V-shaped portrayal. Bass performance undoubtedly goes to the Rose IEM. It just has more in both quantity and quality. Mid-range sees a strong deviation here. Moondrop is more refined and a bit smoother, whilst the Photon Pro, it really impresses on some songs and kind of stumbles a bit in others. Treble ranges are somewhat more natural on the Quarks 2, giving it an edge to the Photon Pro. But the Rose IEM strikes back with that better technical and separation abilities. The question to ask when weighing between these two IEMs is whether you like a safer or a more fun tuning. Personally, the better build on the Photon Pro and its more committal signature won me over. A micro driver comparison would not be complete without my all-time favorite, the Final E3000. Build-wise, we see a more even playing field with metal constructions, though the Photon Pro has a more sturdy cable that's removable, whilst the E3000 it has a thinner, non-removable wire. If the Photon Pro versus Quarks 2 comparison was the difference between a safe and a fun tuning, the comparison with the E3000 shows the difference of a relaxed versus an engaging, attention-grabbing kind of tuning. The bass presence on both are quite similar, but the E3000, it has a more atmospheric and encompassing low end, whereas the Photon Pro here, it has a more tactile slam factor, delivering oomph in the sort of distinct hits. Mids on both are warm, but the E3000, it does not have any particular peaks or dips. It's just a relaxed, reserved mid-range that works a charm for longer listening, whilst the accented Photon Pro, well, it has more emphasis to certain types of singers, certain types of instruments. Treble on both are conservative, but the Photon Pro, it kind of misses some air, where the E3000 is better extended and more effortless, I'd say. If you want a more chilled out IEM that you can kind of listen to for hours on end, the E3000 is still a formidable option. But the Photon Pro, well, it packs in a big wow factor with its more kind of bombastic tuning that catches your ears right from the get-go. It usually goes that for IEMs, you tend to trade size for performance and vice versa, but I think the Rose Technics Photon Pro manages to break from this trend, delivering a confidently vibrant sound in an impressively compact shell. The metal build quality, thoughtful accessory inclusions are also a standout in this sort of $50 to $20 budget price tier, outpacing rivals like the Moondrop Quarks 2. For those seeking a bold, lively listening experience in a tiny frame, the Photon Pro delivers. Thank you to Rose Technics for providing a sample unit for review, but they do not have any creative or editorial control over my content, and all that I've shared are my honest thoughts.